Yeah. So basically what I said earlier, to prevent yourself from overtrading, you just need to schedule other things to do, whether you want to start another side hustle, side business, or get a new hobby, anything, family time. I mean, that's the thing, right? You want to make sure that, you have a certain goal. And a lot of times traders, their goal is freedom. And you want to make sure that once you become profitable and successful, that trading doesn't get in the way of the ultimate goal of time freedom. What ends up happening is that people end up getting married to the screen. And then it's kind of like pointless because now you're just glued to the screen all day when you wanted time freedom. So basically, I typically have a lot of things scheduled in the afternoon. How do I cure the impulse to overtrade? You got to find other things to do with your life, really. I'm so serious. You need to just schedule other things. I also have like a blocker. You literally just eat shit so many times when you're not patient that you learn your lesson, because you get tired of eating shit. You kind of have a wake-up call. You have a conversation with yourself. Real talk, you can have some like logic statements at your desk and stuff. That's something that Jared Tendler teaches. And Jared Tendler is awesome. He's on NinjaTrader. He says have these logic statements on your desk. First off, you have to know what your issue is then. So one that's really good, I think, is I would rather have a green month than a green day. Right? Because it makes you think about, okay, yeah, if you're overtrading and you're really trying to push that button to get that green day, you are exposing yourself to much more risk in the market, especially in a day that it seems like it's more difficult because you're heated and probably the environment's harder. And that can ruin your month if you go on tilt. So you can have those statements at your desk when you're feeling impatient to read it out loud. And then it kind of brings you back to earth a little bit. How are you? Did you take any trades this morning?
I'm good, yeah. I did. I took a couple longs. This is my last day on this contract, so I'm just kind of, giving it a nice send-off, I guess. September was good to me.
That's nice. Are you long NASDAQ?
No. Yes, actually.
That's good.
You may have missed this. I kind of quit trading the NQ. I'm kind of an ES guy these days while you were gone.
Nice. When did you start make the switch, basically? Or was it like gradual?
I've always traded both, but on the show, like a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I just need to be taking these on the show instead. Then gradually ES became my primary all the time, not just when I was on the show. So
yeah.
I don't know. It snuck up on me. It's like old age.
It's been stronger. It made like 5 new all-time highs when NASDAQ made 1. Yeah.
Yep.
On the tail. It's definitely been the stronger sister.
Waiting for that NASDAQ all-time high. That took like a year off of my life that week, I feel. That was so annoying. I'm like, come on, just get up there and grab it. We were 20 points away like 8 times.
Yeah, I know. I know. And every time I would pull my chat, I'd be like, do you guys think we'll hit it today?
Usually I trade 4 days a week. I try to really not look at charts on that off day, but actually going to get fit for irons tomorrow, Tanya. That's my plan.
Oh, wow. That's fun. I just got new grips on All Night Club, so I'm happy.
Oh, sick. Awesome.
And it's definitely helping. I'm working on my game. I'm committed to this. It's a great way to practice patience for sure, but it's not a good way to unwind. You need concentration, more mental. I thought at first, I was like, I can hit up my golf simulator. I have a simulator. It's in my amenities. So that's
sick. That's
awesome.
awesome.
How it got started. And then at first after stream, I would go there, and then I just shanking every ball because I just couldn't. Concentration and focus is like a finite resource, and so is energy.
Yep.
And I couldn't concentrate anymore, or I'd still be thinking about residual stuff from my trading session, and that's just not gonna go well. Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, because you'll think, oh no, because this is a totally different thing. Nah, bro.
My grandma used to say something. I've never really understood this analogy, but it was like you only get so many spoons for the day. And that was it. And I was like, I don't know why it's spoons, but yeah, you only have so many spoons to spend. If you spend all those mental spoons trading, you're not going to have any for golf.
Exactly. I think that's a widely known concept nowadays, like the spoon theory. Yeah.
Okay.
100%. And that goes for like energy, patience, and a lot of things. So it's just good to keep that in mind when you're trading, because at the beginning of the session, you might be way more patient. That by the end, you're run down thin, and that's why a lot of times at the end of the session, people might have taken 2 or 3 trades within 10 minutes, and kind of get themselves into a hole. whole because they literally run out of that kind of reserve in their brain.
I've gotten off of the desk and been like, felt like I got hit by a bus for no reason, just because I've been sitting there all day.
Yeah, 100%. That's part of my like 3 rules for the day nowadays is I have to like literally step away after the session for at least 10 minutes to have that buffer and be able to leave the screens. And most of the times, you know, I am just away for the afternoon. So, but then that 10-minute buffer like lets me come in after if I was actually interested in something to kind of come in there with like a little bit of a better energy reset or better outlook on it. But yeah, this was a great talk still. I mean,
Yeah.
the rest of the session.
Thanks, Tanya.
And
Talk to you too.
ciao.